This is Rex Bar Jr. from Catan Strategy Group, and today I'll be demoing our submission for Agent of the Year, which is a house cleaning agent. Now, imagine you're a company that cleans homes and you have about 12 to 20 clients, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, and it's you and a friend. You always do the cleanings yourselves, you don't have a team or anything like that. And you've been doing it for a while, and it's okay, but you're not really making a lot, and you're not growing. And the problems that you run into is every time someone calls you for to be a new customer, they need a price. So you have to go out to their home. And 9 out of the 10 times that you go out to someone's home, they never call you back. And you use social media, you post, before and after pictures, sometimes of your work and things like that. But replying to people is difficult. Replying to comments are even more difficult. I know, because I don't reply to comments from our organization or DMs. And the final thing is you handle all the administrative and marketing tasks yourself. You don't have anyone doing your social media, any of your marketing, any posting of flyers or mailing, any of that stuff. And we also know this about home care, agencies that do home cleaning services. You really don't have the money, or you don't really want to pay someone else to do any of the tasks that I mentioned before. It's just not in a budget. So what we've done is we've created an agent that essentially solves most of these problems. And we've used the Voiceflow platform. We've been using the Voiceflow platform for the past 2 years. And what it does is it asks the potential client their address. It pulls information about their home from public information, and it makes a calculation based on the rates that your company puts in about square footage, and shoots out the potential client a price. It does this in under 3 seconds, and it also does this with just one reply from the user. So the user doesn't feel like they have to give a name, phone number, and all this other stuff. They just get an answer, which we feel is more likely to help you as a potential business in gaining that customer. And we also have some other cool things it does just in case you don't get that customer. So without further ado, I want to demo the layout of our agent. The first thing we see here is we put in some basic information about the company's name, the state in which it was in. And the reason we choose a state is because if a user inputs their number, address, their street, and their city, if the system has a state, it can anticipate what the zip code is. But if it doesn't have a state, the system might anticipate a different zip code. Now, if someone is in a different zip code in different state and we put that in, then they'll get a price, unfortunately, for that. Maybe your business can grow out there, or you can refer them to someone else. But once the system gets the address, we then format it. We use AI to format that. It's just a simple prompt. And then we pull from Zillow's API. Pulling from Zillow's API, we get the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, the number of stories if it's available. And all of that information really, if the first part, it goes directly back to the business. And the reason we wanted to go back to the business is I have here an Airtable, which is a free account that we would set up for the business. So again, no cost to the business. It's essentially a free CRM. Once it gets back to here to the Airtable, you just put their addresses in here. The system automatically puts their address in here, and it also gives them a label of didn't finish. When it gives them that label, we could run a secondary automation for all the people who never either completed a quote or didn't go with the company, and we can send them out a mailer. That can serve and answer one of the questions of, it can serve as a marketing tool, a marketing device for people. It could be either that particular house, or it could be all the properties around that house. And that's a really great way of kind of targeting more than just one person from a naturalized lead. So that's why we send the address directly to the business first. And then we kind of gather all of the other information, as I said before, the bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage of the home. And we then right away, we give the customer the quote. We don't ask any other questions first. We give the customer the quote immediately after they give us their address. And the reason we think this is important and powerful is because, first off, we already have their address, so we can retarget them later. But even more than that, so many times you go to a website, deal with an agent or even a person, quite frankly, and you want information, but they need more information from you first. Oftentimes that creates what we say here at the Time Strategy Group. It creates resistance. It creates customer resistance. They get defensive, like, oh, why do you need this? How many times do you want to contact me? But if you give them what they want, they're more likely, especially if they like the price, to continue through the process. They'll give you their name and number and everything else. But the early part is you first have to get with them and understand essentially what they want out of it. And we give that time. So once they get the price, and here's where the price is kind of confirmed here. This is the quote, and then this is where it's confirmed. We confirm it with them. Then we get their name and their number. By getting their name and their number, we are obviously able to send a full lead to the CRM system that we built, which is here. And it has the full lead of their information in, and it also has some other information about what we'll talk about in a second. Then the customer has a choice. They've only answered two questions, really: their address and their name and their number. And then they can either continue to be booked. We'll create a personal booking link for them immediately, or they can save it and get that quote emailed to them directly. And they'll have that quote for 90 days, whatever period of time the business wants to honor that quote. Or tell them, here's when we also answer additional questions. The system is geared to allow 3 questions before it automatically sends them to gather their email. So this kind of helps with people just not taking advantage or abusing the system. Any questions that they ask are also sent to the CRM, which is a good resource because I just made up big questions here. But is a good resource because the business could use us to write blog articles about those specific topics. Because if one person's asking it, it's the same thing in school. If one person's asking it, then 100 people are asking the same question. They might just not have the time, energy, or willingness to type it into a particular business, but they're all asking it. So we can write customer-specific articles that address the needs of the customers in the way that they want them addressed. And then it gets you more eyeballs in front of more people as well. An example of that, if a question keeps popping up, what cleaning supplies do you use? Is it kid-friendly? Is it pet-friendly? Well, an article can be written for it on behalf of that company that says, the reason that company X uses these cleaning supplies is because in our research or in our time, we found that they help prevent diseases. People aren't as afraid to use this as a cleaning company, whatever the case is. I'm not a cleaning company, and I'm not an expert at that, nor do I pretend to be. But the business can use that good information in order to write solid information about what customers want. Finally, after that, we gather all that and we send it back to our CRM system. And in our CRM system, we put sent booking. And this lets us know that the booking is sent. And on the back end of it, what happens here is, for security, we're not want to show you the email going through, but this is what the business would get. New client, the person's name, the amount, the address, the square footage of the home. If the story information in this particular home, there's no stories, but if there is a number of stories, it will be here. And then the final thing, which we are also kind of mindful of as our organization, we hard coded this so when you click the phone number, especially on a person's smartphone, if they're out in the field or wherever they are, um, they can call right away. It just dials the number from whatever your default phone dialing system is, either Android or iPhone, from there or on the computer for that matter. And from there, obviously, there's a second chance for the business to contact the potential customer if they have not booked already, and then they'll know if the booking goes. And I'll go over the final part of booking in this live demo. So, without further ado, I'm going to use the developer mode, and I'll also be debugging, so you can kind of see the debug proof here. So let's get an address. I want to do. Let's do Dallas, Texas. This house doesn't really look. Sometimes you get these houses and they don't necessarily look like real places. So, all right, there we go. Let's pick this one. Kind of reminds me of my house growing up. I was in a kind of a brick house, orange brick house. So there you go. I have the address, and we go ahead back to our system, and no one's going to write like that. I live. That's how they'll write. They're not going to put any. They're not going to put any commas, and they're going to put Texas. They're not going to write that. Now, from there, the system should be able to pick that up. Again, we didn't give it the zip code or anything of that sort. It takes a second to essentially format the information, and then it gives them kind of a placeholder, and boom, it gives them a price right away. And these are the prices based off of, let's go ahead and pull this. Again, this is what's pulled in the system. Square footage is 1330, 3030, 3030, beautiful. And this information is pulled from the price list. So for the size of the home, the information is pulled based on that, and then presented to the potential client there. And it goes essentially as a personalized quote, and they get these numbers, and this is what the customer is presented with. They put in their address and they get the information. Once they get the information, the next thing that they do is choose. So please choose an option. And they don't have to, kind of write one city. They can write whatever they want. So I will go with, I think I'll vote every other week, which is not really an option. It is bi-weekly, but it's not really an option. And the reason we chose to do it this way is because we're using natural language. And then let's make sure that's 185 every other week. So it confirms that with the client. It tells them the great choice, and then it goes on to collect their information. It's just an aim I had in my head. Let's put a fake phone number in here. And what will happen now, also go back over to this lead sheet. The address is in here already. Now on this lead sheet, the lead pops up with Ronald's information all in here, the number of stories, all that other good jazz. So we're ready to go there. Ronald, and again, a little bit more personalization. We get their first name. So they told it to us here. So now we're calling them Ronald. Ronald, our team now has your full quote. Now, some companies might say we want to call them Mr. or Mrs., and we can do that as well, or just call them their full name. But we think just using Ronald here kind of draws them in. We're not taking anything. We're just telling you our team has your full quote. FYI, first time customers get a free deep clean. Now, and then you go ahead and what would you like to do? This is the trade. This is their decision maker. In this case, we're going to go ahead and schedule it because that's hopefully the best outcome. If they like the price, they've chosen it. So in this, we're just going to put an email. One of the things I always do in demoing projects is never put a real email Learned that the hard way. But there you go. We now have Ronald's email. Let's see. Oh, the system already put it in there quicker than I could type it over there. And here's the thing. Now that we have it, we tell them, listen, here's your personalized booking link. In the personalized booking link, the thing that a lot of things we're proud of in this, but one of the things I'm really proud of with this is, let's say they choose this time at this day. Most times you don't want to have to re-enter your information, and this you don't. The system sends them a personalized booking link that has their name in there, has the email address. We put that, so that's what it was. And as you can see here, that's loaded in there. We also preloaded the phone number because we are using Colander, which is essentially a free service on this tier, which, we're using Airtable, which is a free service on this tier. We're using Colander, which is a free service. The only service that we use, and we don't necessarily have to, but we use make.com for some of our just API requests and just relay information for authentication with Google, Gmail specifically. But other than that, all these services are free. So we're keeping costs down for any potential house cleaning company. But we're also giving them powerful tools. They pick it and they choose. I'm not going to choose that there because this is actually also connected to any Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar or Yahoo Calendar. So the client can use whatever they were using before, and this just syncs with it. So the times are available. If it's not a time, the time won't show up in this information. So they'll have a good idea about cleaning and how long and all that other good stuff. And then the system ends. And on the backhand side, they get all of this. They know that it was booked. They know the square footage. They know the address. They know the phone number, all that information. And then on the lead sheet now, it says lead gained instead of didn't finish. And that's important. So if there is an automated mail campaign going out, it just wouldn't go to them necessarily because they already got to the booking part. And now maybe there's another set of mail campaigns that goes out where we say lead gained or not, which is a different thing because we say now they've gotten the quote. We know that they either like or don't like the quote and probably not like it because they didn't go with it. Maybe a company 2 months later, they lower the price by $20, $30 or whatever they can within their, kind of their budget and their frameworks. And that is another opportunity for them to go at that potential lead again. Again, that's the main part. If they don't, they get an email sent to them. And this is the email sent to the business, the customer side facing email, which I didn't necessarily copy on this one. It's very similar, very professional looking, and it actually gives them a booking link, which is personalized right in their, right in the email. So they get the same kind of treatment of personalized booking link. So they don't have to do much at all besides pick the date and time. And that concludes our demonstration for our house cleaning agent. I want to say thank you to the Voiceflow team. Over the last 2 years, you've allowed our organization to grow and build. And your tireless work of answering our questions and, kind of helping us along the way with our potential clients has not gone unnoticed. And I truly, truly appreciate everything you all on the team have done. And then also Connor from Umbro. Connor and I speak via YouTube sometimes, but he's been instrumental in teaching me some of the different coding languages and options available to better assist our clients and make it more efficient. So thank you all for your time and best of luck. Choose it.